So apparently, this will soon be you, travelling in a vehicle in Papua New Guinea. It is a beautiful country with very friendly people. I've been visiting PNG since 2008 and travelled to many parts of the country teaching defensive driving, four-wheel driving and secure driving. To date, I've managed to avoid a hold-up. But like anywhere in the world, there is crime and places you don't want to pass through, particularly at night. The lawlessness, the gangs, the tribal warfare, the gun crime, and the short temper of some men is next level. Although it's no consolation, but you are generally only being attacked because the opportunity is there. Here are some safety tips. Firstly, I strongly recommend you let the locals drive you. They know where to go and where not to go. If a crash happens, they know how to deal with the situation. Most of the large oil and gas projects use local drivers, and I know that thousands of drivers my company has trained are very competent and very careful drivers. Yes, the traffic looks and behaves differently to Australia, but the driving techniques are often better and the local people know the conditions and the dangers. A little understood fact is that Papua New Guinea has 851 known languages and many social groups and Wontok communities. A PNG person may not be welcome in some other regions of their own country due to internal disputes. Therefore, a crash involving different ethnic people will quickly degenerate into a crowded mob and a fight will often ensue. But if a foreigner is involved, a severe beating will be a good outcome. Often justice or revenge is issued on the spot. The local taxis are also unsafe in terms of maintenance, the age and the safety standard of the vehicle. German DWTV did a great expose on a taxi driver's life.
In the night, we have all those little thieves around there. Sometimes they try to rob us. Now you see, that's my knife here. I just carry it for safety purposes. This one here. Anybody tries to attack me? That's it.
Local security firms offer shuttle transport, with their vehicles being tracked for location and a duress button for rapid assistance. They can also provide a trained driver with an up-spec'd vehicle fitted with security screens. And at night, an armed escort will lead such vehicles through the more dangerous areas. Papua New Guinea gets the same vehicle models as found in Australia, but only a few brands are sold as new vehicles, with many others coming in as second-hand imports from Japan. Without doubt, the king of PNG is the 70 series Toyota Land Cruiser. This vehicle is popular due to its toughness and durability. It is the workhorse of the nation, and it is used to transport cargo and people. It is purchased in huge numbers by oil and gas companies, as it is easy to service and repair, and thankfully not capable of high speeds. Many of the new vehicles sold are special builds for developing nations, and as such they are stripper models, without the systems and features found in the same model in Australia. Vehicles that in Australia have anti-lock brakes, curtain airbags, seatbelt pretensioners, traction control and stability control don't have these systems in PNG. This makes them more affordable, but also more reliable, as no one in the remote regions would be able to fix such advanced systems. The thousands of local drivers trained by SDT have learned about engine pre-start checks and tyre maintenance, and have been equipped with tyre pressure gauges. Due to the rough roads and lower driving speeds, a tyre pressure slightly lower than would normally be used in Australia can help lessen the bumps. But it is important you do a pre-trip vehicle inspection and check tyre pressures, because vehicles in PNG are poorly maintained, and a breakdown or tyre blowout could have extra security ramifications. There is not the same police or transport department monitoring of vehicle safety, so you do see some very interesting vehicles on Papua New Guinea roads, and many vehicles continue to be used despite being badly damaged. Since Papua New Guineans are used to travelling in the back of utilities and trucks, they are not overly concerned about wearing seatbelts. Make sure you wear one and insist your passengers do as well. So many lives would be saved each year if vehicle occupants wore a seatbelt. This photo says a lot about the roads in PNG. Potholes are everywhere, many are deep, and many vehicles don't have anti-lock brakes. A behaviour not seen in other Pacific nations is the extreme effort some drivers go to avoid the potholes and not lose time. Drivers can arrive in single file to a potholed area and you will see their vehicles scatter into multiple lines trying to find the quickest route. It is not uncommon to have an oncoming vehicle pass between two vehicles heading in the other direction, with one off on the edge of the oncoming lane. With development grants from Australia, roads are gradually being improved in some regions. Some of the roads in New Ireland and West New Britain are in good condition, though not of a first world standard in terms of line marking, signage, and crash barrier protection. With frequent overnight storms and heavy rainfall, poor lighting and no reflective markings, night driving is particularly challenging. Sometimes 40 kilometres is a good average travel distance for an hour behind the wheel. The capital, Port Moresby, is home to an estimated 400,000 people and is a large, sprawling city with freeways, traffic jams, traffic lights, and roundabouts. Because Port Moresby is landlocked with no roads in or out, many of the PNG people from other provinces have never driven in a big city before and therefore are not used to traffic. Ask a local and they will tell you of the issues they have with the PMV bus drivers as they jostle to be in front in their Toyota Coaster buses. The other cities and towns of Papua New Guinea are much less frenetic, with only a handful of traffic lights and roundabouts in use across the rest of the nation. When Mount Hagen received traffic lights, many locals had no idea what the coloured lights meant. Busy market areas like this are crime hotspots. The assailants use the crowd to their advantage and they are emboldened knowing that their wantoks will likely protect them. So just hold back so you can see the tire to road contact point of the vehicle in front. And that way you've just got that ability to, it might feel like there's nowhere to go, but if you ever had to, you could hand on the horn and push through. A vehicle like this could actually push other vehicles out of the way if ever there was gunfire and an attack. But also just giving yourself the ability to steer left or right, not get boxed in. Vehicle boxed in a high-risk environment is an easy target. Nowhere to go, no escape route, no escape plan. Traffic jams in the suburbs of Port Moresby are also a common spot for a robbery. And at a traffic jam like this, queue up, keeping an eye out for hold-up situation, giving ourselves the ability to drive away. Yes, the doors should be locked, and also a common thing would be a spotter who's waiting further up the road, who's spotting vehicles with solo drivers with open windows, handbags on the seat, and then whistling up their mates to jump that vehicle when they get into the jam. So a giveaway that something's going to unfold can be the spotter who's looking for picking out the vehicle that's going to be targeted. Being fanatical lovers of rugby league football, the morning after the big match, there can be looting, riots, and fighting between wantok groups. Alcohol and drugs also fuel many traffic crashes. The highlands of PNG have very few roads and they are mostly unsealed. This is the main road in the Western Province. It is made from round river rocks. The local people need to use the road when on foot, as the jungle is too thick. Be sure to slow down and leave space as you pass them. Bush knives are a common sight and are needed to clear the jungle or harvest crops. But when locals are painted up or wearing tribal dress, this is a sign of danger. By the way, if transporting a large knife unrestrained on the back seat is not a good idea. Loose items should be secured in case the vehicle brakes hard or crashes. PNG has extreme rainfall, very few sealed roads, and very steep terrain. This is one of the main highways in the north of the country. Therefore, if you plan to drive outside of built-up areas, you should be highly experienced with four-wheel drive off-road driving and four-wheel drive recovery techniques. And if you are not, you should undertake four-wheel drive off-road training. SDT offers practical four-wheel drive training at locations across Australia and in Papua New Guinea. We also have created an inexpensive yet comprehensive Safe Operation of Four-Wheel Drive Vehicles e-learning course, which has 14 modules. And whilst locals might be eager to pitch in and help, a stuck four-wheel drive with stranded foreigners is an easy target for a robbery, assault, or worse. As previously outlined, PNG four-wheel drive vehicles are lesser equipped than equivalent vehicles in Australia. They generally don't have differential locks. Other four-wheel drive vehicles that come along are not likely to have recovery equipment, but if they do, be sure to check the equipment and recovery points before use. If you are used to having recovery boards to place under the tyres, I can advise that palm fronds and tree branches work just as well. Spare tyres, a puncture repair kit and air compressor are essential items. Many trucks use the main roads of the Highlands, moving freight up and down. They often run in convoys for protection against hold-ups. It might be wise for your vehicle to join their convoy if not travelling with a group of vehicles. A common robbery technique in the Highlands is to stage a Good Samaritan attack, with a person waving you down acting like they need help. Once you are stopped, the attackers strike. At close range, you are best to surrender and comply with their demands. In PNG villages, a pig, especially a female, is a prized possession. Crashing into one will result in a compensation payout of many thousands of dollars being required. Likewise, even a stray dog hit by your vehicle will quickly become someone's beloved animal, resulting in compensation being needed. So I urge you to drive slowly and carefully with the highest regard for the safety of the peoples and animals of the region. There might be no police enforcement, but breaking down or crashing could have unexpected negative ramifications. When things go wrong in Papua New Guinea, they go terribly wrong. Always drive with the windows closed and the doors locked. Ideally, you want to travel with multiple people or in a convoy, as solo drivers make easy targets for the criminals. Tinted windows conceal who and how many occupants are on board. Security grills provide a further visual deterrent against attack. Ballistics film on the glass is not a deterrent, since the assailant only discovers it is fitted after attacking the vehicle. Get friendly with the security guards at your worksite and accommodation. You want to recognise them as you arrive and not drive in only to find the guards are actually attackers in the same uniform. If confronted with a gun at close range, surrender and comply with their demands without any attitude. Your vehicle is soft-skin and bullets will pass through the vehicle. Drive carefully and defensively. A crash in the wrong place at the wrong time will have different ramifications to the same incident if it happened in Australia. In conclusion, if you are travelling to PNG, be ready for an adventure. It is likely to be very different to what you've experienced before. Like the PNG vehicle registration sticker states, be smart and minimise or even prevent road accidents. Be careful not to misread situations. What looks like trouble could be nothing more than people having fun. To date, I've enjoyed all my visits, and the people I've trained have been friendly and very open to self-improvement. You will likely see some of these high-quality drivers who've undertaken an SDT driver training program. Their certificate is proof of their knowledge, as a license can be obtained with very limited training. This video has been made to assist international visitors to be safe when travelling into Papua New Guinea. Contact us for more information on our defensive driving, four-wheel drive and secure driving programs.